Right, hey guys, it's Jack from Peach. We're here at NAMM for 2019. We're in Fender World, and we're going to start out with Gretsch. We're here with Adam, and we're going to have a nice little run through. We're starting with the Gretsch Streamliner stuff.
Yeah,
so take it away, mate.
So this year we've completely revamped the whole Streamliner range. So you remember we introduced Streamliners 3 years ago here at NAMM back in 2016. And at the time they were the first kind of foray into this entry-level kind of affordable Gretsch hollow body and centre block world. And 3 years later they've been such a popular range, but we thought we'll make them even better than they were before. So we've completely revamped the entire range, both aesthetically and sonically. So probably the most important feature is the pickups. So back in 2016 the Broadtron pickups were designed especially for the Streamliner guitar.
Right.
And now we've made them even better. We've upgraded them. They're still Anaco 5 pickups, but we changed the windings a little bit.
Okay.
So they've got a tighter bass, a bit more clarity overall. They've still got the fidelity that you expect from the Gretsch sound, but they really embrace the distortion and overdrive sounds a lot more. Really great sounding pickup. They were great sounding before. They're just another step
although
up.
you're right, it's a Gretsch after all, and that's kind of what you want, isn't it? You want that clarity and that extra bit of bite and stuff. So.
We're absolutely famous for our clean sound, but we really want to get the world to know that we do distortion as well as anyone else.
And from what I remember, even the bigger body guitars handle feedback really well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, some people are a little afraid of these hollow bodies when it comes to feedback, but if you can actually get used to it, you can. Not only is it not as feedbacky as you think it's going to be, but you can also use the feedback musically, especially when you've got that Bigsby to get it wobbling a bit.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some great new finishes here as well.
Yeah, so looking at the aesthetics of it, we've changed the binding to aged multi-binding, where it was a single white binding before.
Right.
We've put the pickguard is now a 3-ply instead of a single ply, and on certain finishes we've gone with the torty pickguard. On the hollow bodies we're looking at now, the floating bridges are all secured, as they always were, so they don't slide about under your hand. Mm-hmm. And this particular finish is Riviera Blue, which is one of the several new finishes we are introducing this year. And on the hollow bodies we've gone with the hump block inlays this time around as well, just as a little bit of a nod back to the history of Gretsch and our legacy.
I think in general they look a lot more premium.
Yeah.
Just, on first impressions there, I think they look
We've
fantastic.
enlarged the F-holes slightly as well, which is a very subtle difference, but it does really make it kind of makes them look more Gretschy, I guess, because the oversized F-holes on the Pro Series are kind of a classic feature of ours. I'll show you a couple of other new colours. On the centre block model, this is really one of my favourite finishes, if I can hold it in the light there.
That's great, yeah.
This is called Gunmetal Metallic. It's got that sort of almost greeny, turquoisey thing going on, but in certain lights it will look black. And it
plays with the light a lot. I hope that's coming through.
Yeah. And so this is a centre block model, so it's got a spruce centre block down the middle. It's chambered, so on all our centre block models the centre block is chambered, and not only does that give a bit of weight relief, but also gives more of that hollow body tonality we're famous for.
Yeah.
Because the Gretsch sound is all about moving air, even in our solid bodies, which we'll talk about later. Laurel fingerboards on these as well is another thing. We've moved from rosewood to Laurel fingerboards for reasons you may have read about in the press. But
they're out there.
So that's
Gunmetal now. That one.
Yeah, that's Gunmetal. This is Fairlane Blue. You've seen that colour before in the Electromatics, and we brought it into the Streamliner world.
Sure.
This is a junior model. So just to remind you of the layout of the models for Streamliners, we basically have 3 models: the hollow bodies, the centre blocks, and the centre block juniors.
Right.
And each model is available with or without Bigsby. And then we have the lefties as well.
And the same pickups in every model.
Same pickups in every model.
Pickups?
The only real difference in structural is, apart from the hollow and the centre block, is that these hollow bodies have the floating bridge, the centre blocks have the studded bridge.
Okay.
Other new colours include this single barrel stain, we're calling it.
Nice.
Was it something of an allusion to the whiskey barrel there?
Yeah.
Gone with a torty pickguard on that one. Another favourite of mine is, I'm going to grab another junior model, we're calling this the Imperial stain. And you've got this really really strong grain appearance there. Really kind of a workhorse guitar, a little bit C6 Steve, I think. It's got that kind of rugged-looking appearance, And again, so that's a junior model with the Bigsby.
Fantastic.
Some of the colours from the older models we've kept. So the Torino green was always a good seller. So we kept the Torino green on the 26, 22. and we've introduced the Torino green. Some of the southpaws out there will be pleased to know on the left-handed version.
Good stuff.
So the Torino green, and then we also have another. So in the old range there was only one left-handed version. We've got left-handed in 2 colours this time. So we have that single barrel stain again.
Spoiled for choice.
On the lefty, yeah. So
Good
all those
stuff.
sinister guitarists out there will be
Yeah.
pleased with the extra selection. Other finishes.
Nice.
Oh, this is another new finish. Really cool, Phantom Metallic. Again, catches the light beautifully.
Yeah.
Again, that's on the centre block, non-Bigsby version with the our own V-stop tailpiece, which is, again, alludes to the legacy of Gretsch that kind of mirrors the V on the old Falcon and Penguin tailpiece from the 50s.
Yeah. No, it's not. I think the redesign is really thorough.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of thought gone into this, and I think they look great. And if they play anything like they used to as well, then
Well,
they're
absolutely
gonna be,
do,
really
yeah.
comfortable and
Yeah, because we don't go for second best. We have to we sample these thoroughly. We prototype the pickups. Everything is exactly how we want for the price point.
brilliant.
Just another couple of cool colours. Candy apple red on the hollow body, because you can't go wrong
No,
with candy apple
always a
red.
favourite. Yeah.
And this one I really like. For those who want to get little jazzy moments.
Yeah.
The Village Amber stain. So you got the natural finish again with the torty pickguard on this, and this is our own harp tailpiece, which is actually kind of an amalgamation of 2 tailpieces from Gretsch history and exclusively for this range of Streamliners. And again with the hump block inlays on the Laurel fingerboard.
Fantastic.
So that's the new Streamliner range.
Great. Let's move down into.
Yeah. Should we have a look at the
We've got
Electromatic?
some Electromatic stuff here as well. Yeah. It's the same kind of deal, just new finishes.
Yeah, so on the solid body Electromatics, and as I alluded to earlier, our solid bodies, that's a bit of a misnomer, they're actually chambered. All our solid body guitars are chambered. So they have these Electromatic models, mahogany back and sides, but it's thoroughly chambered inside, mahogany neck, arch maple top. And then on the BT model, so this is a BT jet, BT standing for Broadtron pickup. So it has the Broadtron pickups and the stop tailpiece. And then the FT models have the Filtertron pickup with the Bigsby. So that's for people who might maybe want more of a classic Gretsch sound.
Well, that's what I think is great about Gretsch. That even all the way down to the Electromatic stuff, you're not compromising on the principles of, as you said, the Gretsch sound.
Yeah.
That applies to the Streamliners and all the way down
And
to Electromatic as well.
And when we introduce new pickups, like we have on the Pro Series, the Fulltron pickup, and we have the Broadtron pickups, the aim is always to keep that great Gretsch sound, but to be able to branch out into a wider range of sounds as well.
Brilliant. Well, let's move down into the Pro so that we'll detail the colours separately for you guys.
Well, it's right at the end there where he's playing, so we can look at the Steve Wariner.
Maybe we can do some signatures and vintage select stuff here. So any new SIGs for this year?
Any SIGs, yes.
Yes.
So new signature models. We have this one, which was a last minute. I only learned about this one 2 days ago, but I'm very pleased I did.
Okay.
This is the Steve Wariner signature model. For those who don't know who Steve Wariner is, he is a top session musician in Nashville, top singer-songwriter.
Okay.
He has 18 albums of his own to his name, but he also has written songs for the likes of Garth Brooks and Keith Urban and Clint Black and these sort of people.
So he's working firmly in Gretsch territory.
Well, the thing is, he's a kind of telly guy as well. A lot of Gretsch players are telly guys as well.
Yeah,
So this guitar has features that kind of give you the best of both worlds, which I shall describe now. But first off, let's look at this finish. We're calling it Magic Black. So it's a sparkly black. And there's one thing Gretsch do well, it sparkles. So, so that's that. But it's based, we're calling it, I'm going to rest it on this chair here. We're calling it a Nashville Gentleman because it has features which come from our 6120 Nashville model and features from our Country Gentleman model.
Okay.
So the body is basically a 6120, so it's 16 inch across, 2 3/4 inches deep. But it has the closed F holes, as you might find on a Country Gent.
Yeah.
So they're painted on there. It's got the brass rocking bar bridge by True Arc with a brass nut as well. So that brass thing already starts to allude to a telly, right?
Yeah.
And then, unusually for a Gretsch, it's got a 25.5 inch scale, which on a 16 inch body, there's no other Gretsch that does that.
Right.
So the 25.5 inch scale again is kind of telly-ish.
Yeah.
And then we get to the real nitty gritty, is the control layout. So it's got a TV Jones Classic pickup at the back, which is a standard Filtertron
Staple
style
Gretsch pickup, yeah.
But then at the front here we've got the Durotron, which has got these rails on the top strings and the poles on the bottom strings, which helps sustain when you're bending strings.
Okay.
And under the tone control here we've got the push-pull pot,
Right.
which is a coil tap to give you the single coil sounds here. So combine the single coil sounds with a 25.5-inch scale and a brass saddle.
Yeah.
You've essentially got those telly sounds.
Fantastic.
And then push the coil back in, you've got the great Gretsch sound with the Bixby, string through Bixby. And then up at the headstock here, you've got the locking tuners. So this actually, with that string through Bixby and a locking tuners, it actually becomes one of the easiest guitars to restring.
Yeah.
Whereas people traditionally think of a Bixby as being really hard to restring.
Yeah.
Honestly,
There you go, guys. If you've held out for a long time, you've now got a really...
seriously, you thread the string through, you thread the string through, tied it up, and then you're done.
Yeah.
It's a dream.
I like that a lot.
Very
That's a really
glad we
nice
did that,
ergonomic guitar.
And again, pin bridge, of course, so if you're rocking out, it's not going to slide about and move.
Yeah.
The finish on this is nitrocellulose lacquer, so it's going to age nicely and it's going to smell nice right out of the box as well. Brass nut, I think I've covered everything. Ebony fretboard, multiple binding as well, which we don't normally do on the neck. So really beautiful looking guitar, and you know, Steve Wariner's a session musician. He's a proper player. He's one of the few people that Chet Atkins designated to be CGP.
Okay.
So he knows what he's doing, and so to have a guitar spec'd up by him is a really cool thing.
Fantastic.
So it's more than a signature model. It's a great player's guitar.
Any other colours going to be coming in this model?
No, this is going to be the only colour for now, at least. There's no other plans to bring out anything else. But it's all colours in one.
There's nothing to complain about with that colour anyway, yeah. Brilliant. Alright guys, so we're moving into the Players Edition series from Gretsch, and Adam was saying there's some new finishes to add into the equation, so let's have a look at them.
Yes indeed, so the Players Edition is a concept we introduced 3 years ago when we upgraded all our hollow body instruments in the professional collection, and the Players Edition is kind of as it suggests, it's for the modern player who needs a giggable, no compromise guitar which is fully functional and has none of the quirks that some of the vintage Gretches have.
Yeah, okay.
My phrase of the NAMM show this year is those who the orange-blooded Gretsch player, right? They can play the Vintage Select series and they'll get everything they want out of a Gretsch with our Vintage Select series, and that's why we're keeping it, you know. But the Players Edition are for people who maybe haven't considered a Gretsch before because of some of those perceived quirks.
The quirks.
Therefore, we've addressed some of those issues, and I can. Go through some of them now.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we featured these guitars quite a bit on the Peach channel. I absolutely love them to bits.
So you know the Players Edition spec will include locking tuners, Graphtec Tusker sound nut, a treble bleed on the volume, no load tone control. What else has it got? It's got on the solid bodies. We've got the cutaway heel. I can show you now. Here we go. So on the solid bodies, you have this beautifully curved away heel with the narrow actual heel piece there. And as I said earlier, all our solid bodies are actually chambered, so they're extensively chambered. We use the actual same chambering we used back in 1953, which is almost everything. So it's virtually a hollow body. There's a lot of air moving around on there.
It's a very open sounding guitar, even though it's got that solid body punch still.
Exactly, yeah, and that's exactly what we're going for, because you get the fullness of sound. And then this is a BT Jet, so this has got the Broadtron pickups. So these are the Pro Collection Broadtron pickups.
Yeah.
So they are the BT65s. And so the wider pole piece spacing means there's a lot more power, but still with that clarity. As I said, with the treble bleed on there and the no load tone control, you can, in case anyone doesn't know the control layout, by the way, I'll remind you, volume per pickup, master tone, master volume. So you can balance your pickups out, you can set your tone where you want, and then you can set it and forget it, and use the master volume just to crank in and out and really drive the amp. So really versatile setup.
So are we looking at any other spec changes for this year, or is it just the new finishes?
So this one is classic candy apple red, really beautifully
Gorgeous,
rendered here by our friends in Japan, and with the contrasting gold pickguard and pickup surrounds. Then a classic Gretsch colour. We couldn't leave it off the Players Edition, so we brought it in here. Large flake silver sparkle.
I love that.
With the contrasting age binding, really makes it pop. And then we've gone for the black pickup surrounds and black pickguard to really make the contrast hit that home. And we've got that V-stop tail piece on there as well.
Get your Joe Perry on, guys.
Indeed. Yeah. And then, as a little homage to the original Gretches, we've done the big block inlays and the script logo and the 54 style headstock surround shape, outline shape. So yeah, it's a nod to our legacy as well as looking forward with all these modern specs.
Lovely.
And the last new finish on these BT Jets is the crimson stain over flame maple. I should mention, by the way, that all our flame maple models in the jet range are ebony fingerboards, and the solid colours are rosewood fingerboards.
Okay. Fantastic.
And Tusk XL nut, as I might have mentioned. Aged shallow strap locks as well.
Yeah, these were definitely a home run for Gretsch, I think. Like I said before, we really love these guitars.
Excellent, yeah.
So I'm excited to see some new love for them.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. We needed to expand our tonal palette and maintain the traditional values that we stand for. So we managed to get both in these guitars, and indeed in the centre block guitars, which are behind you. So centre block guitars, again, we revamped these a couple of years ago. We've got the studded bridges instead of the floating bridges with the neat neck angle, and these ones have the Gretsch full-tron pickups, which are USA-made Gretsch pickups, and they're tonally somewhere between the classic Filtertron and the Broadtrons that we were talking about earlier. So more power than the classic Filtertron, but more perhaps defined than the Broadtron because of the narrow coil. This one is the Broadcaster Junior in Azure Metallic, ebony fingerboard, and all the Players Edition features we talked about.
Yeah.
And then this is the Broadcaster Junior in Bourbon Stain over the flame. So the Bourbon Stain was previously available on the full-size Broadcaster and on the solid body. So now the Junior gets that same.
It's made its way down. Brilliant.
Because it was a really popular finish, so we thought we'd treat those people who wanted the smaller body. And a note on that, by the way, we've noticed the reason we've only added the new colours to the Junior range is because we've noticed the Junior range is incredibly popular because those people who are coming from a solid body world, perhaps playing one of the Big F's famous solid bodies or the Big G's famous solid bodies, they may be not so comfortable going to one of the bigger 16-inch bodies, so the 14-inch tends to be more comfortable, but you still get the aesthetic and the sound of a semi-hollow or hollow body.
Yeah. Still got the Gretsch signature.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Well, I think that wraps Gretsch up very nicely. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.